Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone this morning? So good, I hope. And who is ready to do some art journaling? I sure am. If you are brand new here, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott. Lots of things can only be housed in the group. I'm not able to have them on the Corbiere-Scott Designs business page. And it's the greatest group of friendly, encouraging, kind, artsy friends you'll ever have. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So let's see. I am not seeing any comments, of course. I don't know what the issue is, but I guess I'll just keep on yakking. So I had talked a lot about, not a lot, but I had talked about how I was going to make a card with, show you my process for making a card with this art that we did, remember, with vellum and colored pencils on Tuesday. Well, yesterday was a huge day and I got nothing else done. I had two product lines launch yesterday. It was crazy. One was my my beautiful butterfly stamp with Unity called Butterfly Moments. So that launched yesterday. And my very first stitch club with Adorn It, where every month we will stitch together the 50 state flower images. So it was kind of my brain was just a little bit overloaded yesterday. So I did not do that, but we will make a card out of it next week for sure. But I wanted to put that disclaimer out first that it was just, I really had the best intentions of doing it. And then you know what? It just didn't happen. I just kind of vegged out last night and watched this movie on Netflix called, let me think. Well, it'll come to me. Hey, Carol. Hi, Nancy and Sue. How is everyone this morning? So good. So I was just talking about how I said I was going to do some card creation today. And then yesterday was, well, it was just all of the best part of busy. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just fabulous. Anyway, so all that to say, I didn't get my card created and I wasn't even able to think of an idea, but I will for sure next week. I'm so happy you're here too, Nancy. I'm so excited. So let's, Coda. That was the movie that we watched last night. It was so good. Children of deaf adults, I think. Children of deaf, something like that. So it was a story of a family where 3 of the 4 family members were deaf and one was not. And one that was not was a child. It was so moving and so, oh my gosh, it was so good. Hey, Laura, how are you this morning? Anyway, if you get the chance to see it, be sure to see it. So let's make sure everybody has a nice drink this morning before we get started. That's so important. I'm drinking peach raspberry hint this morning. Delicious. Okay, so it's an art journaling day. Does everybody have their art journals? I hope. So I have mine, and I'm super excited to share what we're going to create today in our art journals. So untie your ribbon that's holding back all of this fabulousness, and I will show you what we're creating today. This is what we're creating today, right? How fun is that? So I thought that it would be kind of a cool thing for us to really explore patterning a little bit more. And we have lots of pages to explore patterning, right? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn to a clean page. Here we go. And I'm going to take, so I like to do everything in pencil first. And remember, I have this pen that's, I linked on my Amazon. I love this pen because I can take this and an eraser and I am good to go because it has a mechanical pencil, a blue-black pen, and a black pen. You can choose whatever cartridges you want inside. You can have colored ink. They have all kinds of things. These were just the ones that I picked. But I will, oh my gosh, I love this thing. Okay, so here's the first thing we're going to do. You're going to need a ruler or something else with a straight edge. It could be a piece of cardstock. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's start. Okay, do you see? So I have a series of horizontal lines and vertical lines, but everything is kind of at an angle, right? Because we want to create these really odd shaped spaces, right? So we're just going to take our ruler and we're just going to start drawing lines, right? Hey, Jennifer, get your ruler and your pencil out and your art journal and just start following along. Hey, Melody. Hi, Donna. Here's what we're creating. We're gonna really start to concentrate really a lot on patterns. And here's why. Because I am just a firm believer that the more that you work these things out in your art journal, those things are going to show up in other parts of your art, right? And it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. Hey, Vera, you're new here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you would follow and like Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. Hey, Aunt Mer. Okay, so we're going to start with our clean page. And I'm just using just a junky old ruler that I got from back to school sales. I told you that's the best way to get so many art supplies. So we're drawing a series of angled horizontal lines and just willy-nilly. There's no size restriction. There's no, it's just whatever. I like to do mine in pencil first, but you can absolutely do yours with pen first. Okay, so I've filled my whole page with horizontal lines. Maybe one more. I'm just feeling it this morning. Right? And now we're going to do the same thing, only with vertical lines. So we can go, here we go. I just like to do pencil first so I can, I have kind of a vibe going, like what I kind of visualize in my head. But if you're not feeling the need to do that, don't do it, right? It's your art journal. You do your thing. Okay, so now I like to go over my pencil lines with a waterproof pen, right? So my favorite is Micron PN plastic nib. It's the greatest invention. I'm just going to tell you. I hope they come out with plastic nibs in all different sizes because it won't smash down, right? Sometimes pens have an end like this, and that end can smash down or get pushed to one side or the other. So this is a fabulous thing. Okay, so I'm not using my ruler this time. I'm just going to go over my lines, and it's okay to me that they're kind of sketchy, right? So I'm going to go over them twice because that's just kind of my vibe. But if you are a person who is a much more precise person, then by all means use your ruler. You do you. Right? I'm just showing you the base. You get to create the art, right? I'll show you what I do. But in the end, yours is going to look totally different than mine, right? Because it's made from your hand and your life experience, whatever kind of appeals to you. I love that. Hey, Beth, how are you? And I will just say, after such a big day yesterday, it feels so good to have something so just open-ended and, free. Like I can just create whatever I want, right? I'm going to turn my book because it's way easier to draw my lines. I was talking about this in one of my art journaling, my paid art journaling classes. Here's an interesting thing to just kind of figure out about yourself. Some people are a pull toward you kind of person. Some people are a push away. I am very definitely a pull forward. I don't know if that means anything. Pull toward myself. I don't know. It just is just kind of an interesting observation. I wouldn't read too much into it. There's a million other things that we can read into, right? Okay. There we go. If you haven't already, be sure to join Ornamentally Yours Spring. Oh, Sandra, I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about. I don't know. Huh. I will have to do my own little market research and see. Observe the left-handers in my life. My father-in-law was a lefty. And can I tell you, I love to watch him do whatever. Do you know what I mean? I love to watch just how he navigated life with a left hand, So can I tell you, I love that this one feels so much more wonky than this one. This one I used my ruler. This one I didn't. Not like one is better than the other. It's just fun. Good morning, Colleen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, and now I'm going to go in and erase all of my pencil lines. Oh, so are you a pull toward you or a push away? Oh, that's interesting, Sandra. That is so interesting. So if you are new here, we do art journaling once a week, and it's a free class. I also teach pay classes. You can check those out on my website and get on my email distribution list, and then you'll know kind of what's happening. You're a pull toward. Yeah, I am too. I just find it's just kind of a fascinating thing. I know it does feel like more control, doesn't it? But maybe other people feel like they have more control pushing away. I don't know. Anyway, hey Michelle, how are you this morning? Oh, Michelle, so are you a push away person or a pull toward you when you're drawing lines or anything like that? I'm curious. So once you have, I was saying to Sandra and anybody else who's brand new here, Colleen, Vera, once a week we do art journaling, and our art journaling is in a composition book that we just, if you go back, you'll see all kinds of things that we've done in these art journals, and you can take part in all of those things. But today we're doing some pattern making. I just am really kind of intrigued with it, and intrigued with, number one, how it kind of expands your horizons artistically, right? And it's just quite meditative. So now I have all of these shapes to fill, right? So I can fill some of them with color, some of them with our mark making. Remember from our mark making catalog that we created. There we go. Right? And some of them with just lines. Lines, I'm telling you, I find them so meditative. So on this one, I really wanted to play with horizontal lines and vertical lines, horizontal lines and vertical lines. I just love that. And then I did some squiggly lines and then just some circles. This is one of my mark making where it's like a squiggly line with some dots. But just know you can do whatever you want. I really was playing with, remember we've talked so many times about all good art has color, contrast, and shape, right? Color, contrast, and shape. Like you just keeping those concepts kind of going in your noggin, and then just create with those. So I'm just gonna start. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter. Like you don't have to do anything in any kind of particular order. You can just start. And I know sometimes that's the hardest part, right? Everybody take a drink. Okay, now that we've wet our whistle, let's take our pen and just start. So I'm just going to start with some vertical lines. And I'm just going to slowly fill my space with vertical lines. And I am not trying to keep them perfectly straight because none of my shapes are perfectly straight, right? Because a cool thing occurs when I'm just kind of following the shape, right? A cool thing occurs when you keep having lines that follow the same shape. It creates movement, and that is a cool thing, right? So just know you're not going to finish this in our little 1-hour class, but it's something that you can keep coming back to over and over and over again. Remember, we've talked about that art journaling isn't start to finish all in one sitting, not often. It is a constant work in progress. Like, you can do all the line work right now, and then come back and do some mark making, and then come back and do some color, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all, up to you. And time availability and like, I use it as a distressor a lot of times if I am particularly freaking out about something. It is it works. Although yesterday I did, look, everything was happening so big, I went outside and repotted all of my flowers. Like, I just had to do something different. I'm sure everybody's been in a situation like that, where all of a sudden you just need to do something different. Now I'm filling that space with some horizontal lines. But I turn my book. Remember, turn your book. It's not nailed down to the table. You can just keep make it so your hand is most comfortable. My hand is most comfortable when this part of my hand is resting on my substrate. Oh, so I wanted to talk about an article I read on NPR. Big surprise. And it's the Life Kit. I'm telling you, I love NPR. I like their news. I like their, they just come from the same kind of sensibility as me, and that helps. But I also like they just always have these, like, a wide variety of kinds of storytelling. I just love that. So the article that I read, hey Melody, I do too. And you know what? It's one of those, what are they called? Color Street, those, they're stickers, but I don't remember what it's called. Wraps, nail wraps, I think. Anyway, it is called Juno the Drill. I love it. And you know what? I'm so sad because it's been retired. So now I have to go in search of, look at how pretty it is. Oh, I just love it. Okay, so, and I know my hands look way better when my nails are done on camera. Sometimes I just don't have the gumption to do it though, Oh, look how pretty that is. And I love that little bits of the ink from this page have done little bits on this page. I love that. I wish there was a little bit of this color that was down here. I love that. It just kind of makes it all way more organic and fun. Hey, Renee. Okay, so here's the article that I read. The article I read was about this giant phenomenon that happened during the pandemic. And it is about our own indecisiveness. I am plagued with that daily. I'm just going to tell you right now. So the article said that a third of all adults report they struggle to make basic decisions. I mean, basic, not like big, like, should I buy this house or, you know what I mean? I mean, little crazy decisions. And I so related. So they talked about, the article was about how to be less indecisive about everyday decisions. So, like, the grocery store is just filled with opportunities for decision making, especially American grocery stores. That's one thing that I've noticed in my travels, is that other places around the world, the grocery stores do not have as many choices as we, right? They don't have an entire aisle of just cereal. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, so here's the things that they said. Here's the ways that you can try to work on how to be less indecisive. Let go of the idea of the perfect decision. Here, this one was quite interesting to me. Sometimes our struggle to make the perfect decision stems from how much we associate our choices with our identity. Shut up with that. That was kind of crazy. Allow yourself 3 to 5 options max. I remember, that's so funny because I remember going school clothes shopping as a little girl at Sears and JCPenney. I remember my mom would pick like 5 dresses and I could pick 2 of those dresses. She would pick 5 skirts and I could pick 3 of those. Do you know what I mean? Not that we ever had scads of, it was certainly scads of money or anything like that. She just knew that she would give us, choices. It says, too many choices can lead to a phenomenon called, are you ready? Analyst paralysis. And they said this one was, the grocery store was like one of the big culprits of analyst paralysis. And I thought, sometimes I have that with all kinds of weird things where you just stop and are and can't make a decision. You're just like paralyzed by it. I've been there, right? Yes, I think sometimes we don't realize how lucky we are that we have so many choices. But sometimes it's a lot, Oh no, that sounds like a great book. Donna, are you in our book club? If not, you should be. Canada, yes. Well, that's so interesting because my parents live in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And so, we have lots of relatives that live in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And the same thing, we have lots and lots and lots of people that come across the bridge. I mean, now they finally can, to grocery shop. That's always such an interesting thing, isn't it? Hey, Sharon, how are you? Okay, where was I? Okay, pick your decision battles. How much do you really care about the choice? can it just be a good enough choice? I thought that was interesting. Because that's the truth, isn't it? I mean, some things, like, who really cares? Can I tell you, I could draw these lines forever and ever. I just find it so meditative. Here's a good one. Practice trusting yourself. Sometimes we need to sit in the discomfort of decision making instead of asking for someone else's opinion. That's a tough one, isn't it? I've been there. Rely on routines. Nothing has been more disruptive during the pandemic than our habits. Isn't that an interesting observation? But structure sets us up with familiar environments where we can be our best selves. Absolutely. It is too many choices. Sometimes it is too many choices. Where? Declutter your life. Declutter your closet. Declutter your time. Set clear boundaries around work, your relationships, even your free time. I thought that was really quite insightful. That decluttering isn't just, your closet or your junk drawer or anything like that. It's always, decluttering can be all kinds of things. Anyway, I thought that was good, some good food for thought today. Like decision making about which squares you're going to draw lines in, which squares you're going to paint with color. I'm on a constant quest, Sandra, to declutter everything in my life. Oh. Constantly. Oh, I just love how it just starts to come together, Oh, that sounds amazing, Catherine. I know, I would love to get less clutter. So I'm working on it. I am working on it. I mean, here's the thing. You could fill this entire page with just lines if you wanted. Hey, Monica. We are just working in our art journals. Yes, because that's so interesting, Sandra, because I do find myself, when I do have like a big purge, I do find myself feeling much more creative. Because the clutter kind of stifles my creativity. Hi, Ann Stoneburner. How are you this morning? We're just working in our art journals today, working on patterning. I just love. I know. It's a constant quest, isn't it, Emma? Honestly. Oh, I love when it just kind of starts to take a turn. And look at that movement that I've created with these. Close lines. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. Let's see. And while I'm drawing these lines, I'm starting to ponder what else I want to do. Like, what colors do I want to use? What other mark making do I want to include? What other patterning do I want to include? I love that. I love it, love it, love it. I think I have more. I think I have more. Well, am I about even, I think, on the horizontal versus vertical? I'll finish this and then we can look at our comfort book for a little bit of today's words of wisdom to ponder throughout the day. I've started to make it part of my stitch along in my stitch along little class in my Stitch the States Facebook group. I just love it. Almost to the end. Okay, I'll get the comfort book out, and I hope that you will just continue to create. So, it's okay. It's okay to be broken. It's okay to wear the scars of experience. It's okay to be a mess. It's okay to be the teacup with a chip in it. That's the one with a story. It's okay to be sentimental and whimsical and cry bittersweet tears at songs and movies you aren't supposed to love. It's okay to like what you like. It's okay to like things for literally no other reason than because you like them and not because they are cool or clever or popular. It's okay to let people find you. You don't have to spread yourself so thin you become invisible. You don't have to always be the person reaching out. You can sometimes allow yourself to be reached. As the great writer Anne Lamott puts it, lighthouses don't go running all over an island for boats to save. They just stand there shining. It's okay to not make the most of every every chunk of time. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay. So there's something to ponder for the rest of your day. Obviously, I need a drink. It's kind of a crazy thing, isn't it? That we do sometimes feel like we need to fill all of the time. We don't. It's okay to have downtime. You know, I come from a family of doers. Everybody's always doing, and that's a good thing. But it's also okay to just sit back a little bit. The comfort book by Matt Haig. It's such a good book. I just find it so, it just helps me set my day. It just gives, I just try to read like a little teeny tiny chapter. The chapters are small. I just find myself reading those 2 pages and then keeping that in my noggin all day long. I just love it. So now I'm just going to keep on. Good morning. Hi, Keels. So this is what we're creating, Keels. We just took a page in our art journal and we filled. Yes, me too, Nancy. And you know what? I got it from Keely for a gift. It's the loveliest. She always knows exactly what I need. That's what a longtime friend does, isn't it? So we filled their page with horizontal lines and vertical lines, right? But they're all at angles. So our shapes are all kind of wonky. And then we're going to take all of the skills that we've learned so far. We're going to take some mark making ideas. We're going to take some patterning. We're going to take some color. And we're just going to start filling the shapes, but with no pressure, no timeline. You're just going to do it for the sake of patterning and just the exercise of filling the shapes, right? So, and each shape is small. So you know what? Each shape is a little tiny kind of work of art, right? So we're just going to keep filling shapes. So I think, I think I want to do, I'm just really into these lines lately. Just filling a shape with lines. And I just think that we're going to take some time and really work on patterning in our art journals, because all of that will really, like I said earlier, it will work its way into other aspects of our art life, right? Yeah, the lines are just so meditative, aren't they, Monica? I just find them quite meditative. And I said, like I said, it's okay if it doesn't go straight. If they're not straight. Like right here, this just kind of evolved into this curve. So now it's going to have this movement, right? It is so relaxing. It's so relaxing. I just love it. So I'm just going to, I'm really feeling these lines today. Like this is just, I was going to try this. I just don't have as much control and it gets really wonky when I do that, when I push away. We were talking about that at the beginning of class. There we go. It just kind of happens, no matter how. But you try to draw a straight line, they become a little wonky, at least for me. Absolutely, Catherine. Mark making has been around since the beginning of time. And it is in all aspects of our lives. At this point, I feel like I really want to, I don't know, I'm just going to take a second and look at my whole structure, my whole composition, and start to feel like where are areas that could use something else. I'm going to take a drink and ponder. So I think I'm going to get a little color out. So it could be watercolors, it could be colored pencils, it could be markers, whatever you happen to have. Now I'm going to grab a deli sheet and put it behind here because I don't want to get it on my Klimt. But if it bleeds, it's going to bleed on this. And remember, I can use that for another art paper. I love that. I do. Okay. So this one I created blues and yellows. I really like that. So this time I'm feeling like I really want to fiddle around with a different color palette. So I'm going to get my paints ready by activating all of that color, right? So I just wet everything. And I'm going to come back with a brush. I'm feeling kind of pinks and oranges this morning. Good morning, Laura. So remember, we wet our watercolors and then we just start to work that water into the pan of color, right? And then we can take some over on our palette. We can add a little more water to it if we'd like. And then I'm just going to start to randomly paint some squares. No particular reason or idea where I want to put color. Good morning, Kathy. How are you today? Look at how just filling that one square changes the whole dynamic, right? So I'm going to continue to just randomly fill squares with color. And here's the thing. Just because you cover it with color doesn't mean you can't mark make on top of that. You absolutely can. Right? It can be, this is your creation. But just start to try and think about composition. If you work slowly, you're able to see composition, shape, contrast, color. You start to see it emerge in a different way, right? You'll start to see your composition come into play. You'll start to see, oh, I really like it there, or I don't like it there. And remember, turn your book. You can turn it however you want. Right, so I turned mine upside down so that I can come at this end of my creation. And you just start to see it differently. Flip your book upside down every now and again. You'll start to see, like, oh, there's an area that has no color, or there's let's see. Remember, I like to lean my hand. See, this is an awkward. I should have turned my book sideways. I don't love that. Okay, let's see. Just take your time. When I found this exercise to be really helpful with my ability to see, for contrast especially, like where do I need more darks, where do I need more lights, where do I need like a little piece of something more, like a real interesting design to like draw my eye there, whatever. Remember we were talking, seems like, it seems like it wasn't very long ago, but you know, I will say the pandemic has gotten me all mixed up on my times. Days of the week, times of day, all of that jazz. So I'm just adding some color. Turn that. And then while I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm going to, well, let's just dry it. Kind of as much as we can. But then I wanted to share with you another idea that I had. So I'm going to pull this. I'm going to pull out my my deli paper. Then I'm going to turn back to this page. So this didn't happen deliberately, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, heck yes. Oh, heck yes. Okay, remember we had talked about at the end of each newsletter, I give you an artist quote. A quote about art, a quote from an artist, always a quote. Anyway, I thought this opening is the perfect spot for one of my artist quotes. So what I think I'm going to do is I have this one that was in the newsletter at the beginning of March, I believe. I Shut My Eyes in Order to See by Paul Gauguin. So I'm thinking I absolutely want to fit that in right here. And I'm going to use a technique that we just call fill lettering. So, but I have this already, look at this beautiful shape, right? So I want to really play with that shape. I really want to highlight that shape. So I want my letters to fill this whole shape, right? So I shut my eyes in order to see. So I shut my eyes, one line, in order to see, next line, Paul Gauguin, third line. So I'm going to kind of randomly create some shapes, right? That one seems like it needs to be a little bit bigger. So now I'm going to fill my line right from here to here. I shut my eyes. But do you see how we're filling up the whole space? So let's have our S come from here all the way around. I shut my eyes in order to see. I don't put, but you know, if you feel like it, you absolutely do it. Just fiddle around with it, Laura. Do you know what I mean? That's what your art journal is all about. Is trying things out and seeing what you like and what you don't like. Because it's all about what's appealing to you, right? Paul Gauguin. Ah, I love it. Okay, everybody take a drink. Hey, Michelle, how are you? I haven't seen you since the last Ornamentally Yours. And by see you, you know what I mean. I see you on Facebook every now and again, and on Instagram every now and again, but it's nice to just chat, isn't it? And we have another Ornamentally Yours coming up so quickly. I think I started talking about it at the beginning of this, and then, you know, I ramble. So if you haven't already become a member of Ornamentally Yours, spring is happening next weekend. So so we have 3 days of art classes, absolutely free, by 10 different artists. And oh my gosh, I can hardly wait to share with you what Carmen and I have been cooking up. You know, she's my Ornamentally Yours pal. She's always helps me create samples with my creations. Anyway, be sure to check it out, because it's 3 days of absolute fun. Now I'm going over my pencil with my pen. And like I said, you know, I created this weeks ago, but you can just keep adding to it. You can just keep growing it. It's a constant work in progress. makes me so happy to fill a square. Or not a square, a shape actually. And you're just making them fit, right? So some are going to be tall and skinny, some are going to be wide. It's whatever you kind of want it to be. So are you all set for next weekend? Look, Michelle. Michelle always has amazing classes. For sure. You, tall and skinny. I, tall and skinny. And tall and skinny. And you just make it fit. And seriously, look at that. That makes me so happy. And I'm going to erase my pencil. Ah! That makes me so happy. And I can do the same thing here, right? I can put an artist quote in here or a, oh my gosh, Denise, it's just a blast to create. And it's no, it just, you know, just, happens organically. And I'm telling you, when things happen organically, I find them to be absolutely lovely. I still have this one white space, but I'm just leaving it white until I figure out what I want to do. I do need to put the date, so I do need, maybe I'll put my date there, although I'm thinking I might just stamp it down here. I don't know. I don't know. So, with all that being said, on and on and on. So be sure to join Ornamentally Yours, and wait till you see what Carmen and I have. Oh my gosh. It's so fun and so, I'm going to give you a big hint, Eastery, that you will be delighted. I promise. It is ASMR for you. That's so interesting, Donna, because someone was just saying, I just read another article about ASMR and how some things are quite calming for people and some things are the opposite. Like a whispering voice, some people find that really agitating, which I thought was interesting. I guess it depends on whose voice it is, I guess. I don't know. Well, I'm happy that I can create that for you. I hope that everybody will just slowly start to fill their shapes, right? And, you know, really ponder and be mindful of your composition, of your contrast, your shapes, where you add color, where you don't. Really think about that and just take your time. Promise, your art journal's not going anywhere. Just visit it when you're kind of feeling the need to visit this old friend, because it's kind of become an old friend now, hasn't it? Mine sure has. I was like, oh my gosh, we're really filling it up. We're going to have to go out and spend another $1 and buy another composition book, which I think is fabulous. Anyway, like I was thinking like we would have 2 for the whole year, right? So I was like, well, I don't know. Is this going to last us till June? Maybe, maybe not. Depends how much art journaling you do in it away from me, right? How much art journaling I do away from you. You just never know. But, how fun would it be to create a whole nother one? Come on. I love it. So, go out and have a tremendous Thursday. Make more art. Little by little, fill in your spaces with whatever makes you happy. Like this, the black and white and pink is just giving me all of my 1980 feels. I was all about black and white and pink in the 80s. So I'm kind of digging that. And that's kind of putting me in that mindset. I loved that decade. Oh my gosh, I loved that decade. It was a huge one for me. Anyway, go out and make it a tremendous Thursday, like I said, and make some art. Be mindful. Be peaceful. And just have a good time. I adore you all. Thank you so much for joining me. It means the world to me. It really, really does. And I will carry all of your energy with me for the rest of the day. And remember, it's okay. It's okay to not fill up every space of your day with something, right? Thank you, everybody. I'll see you Tuesday. Bye, everybody.